This is Judge Joe Brown.
This show is sponsored by myoliveleaf.biz, myoliveleaf.biz.
Ginger Surprise. Please contact Hoshea or visit gingersurprise.com for details.
And the Hurricane Report, merchandise, and more.
Due to some violent content, parental discretion is advised.
In times like these, where is John Lewis? Where the heck is John Lewis? Nowhere to be found. Georgia, it's time for change. Stanton-King for Congress.
It's time to ride for District 5. I'm Angela Stanton-King, and I approve this message.
Radio, DJ.
One nation, one station.
All right, YouTube family, welcome. Hi, right now you're listening to the voice of Valerie Denise Jones. I hope and pray that you're having a great day. Please meet me on Instagram at Valerie Denise Jones, and also Miss MS Valerie Denise Jones. While you're there, hit 10, 20, 30 like buttons, and also subscribe if you haven't already. If you need to reach me, it's probably safer to reach me over there. Hit me up in my DM, and I will try and get back to as many people as possible. All right, so I stopped by here to give you a snippet. Of course, all our full episodes are on patreon.com now, patreon.com/Valerie Denise Jones, patreon.com/Valerie Denise Jones. I moved over there, I play over there, I have fun over there because I got tired of being bullied on specific, on whatever, different platforms. So I moved everything over there because over there I can give you bonus perks, behind the scenes footage, gave you some comedy from JUDGEJOEBROWN. Yeah, full episodes. Yeah, we just kind of let our hair down and while out. So please consider supporting us on patreon.com/Valerie Denise Jones. Every single dollar, whether it be Cash App, PayPal, or Patreon, is recycled back into the platform because we want to do what we can to support our community because we love you guys to life. So please consider showing your support. And if you don't have dollars to support, go on and hit that alert button, subscribe, and also leave messages down in the comment section and listen to the episodes over and over and over again so we can, be put back into the algorithms. All right, so that's it. I've talked enough. Why don't we just get into this REXX GARVIN and Angela Stanton live broadcasts. Here we go.
Well, Angela, tell them a little bit about yourself. You're running for Congress in Georgia right now, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm running for Congress in Georgia in the 5th District against John Lewis. I am from Atlanta, been there most of my life. Most of you may know my story from a while back. I spent some time in prison for a nonviolent charge. Ended up giving birth to my daughter, chained to a bed, came home, went through a lot of trials and tribulations to get to where I am today. Ended up using my story to not only pass the First Step Act, but also make it illegal for women to be chained during childbirth. I ended up getting a full pardon from the president, and now I'm running for Congress to use my story, to use my experiences, and bring hope to our people.
You got a pardon from President Trump?
Full pardon from President Trump.
Now, do you think that you would be a Trump? Do you think you would be a Trump supporter if he hadn't pardoned you?
I've supported Trump before I got a pardon.
And why do you support Trump? What values do you see in Trump that make you a supporter?
I support his policies. He's the first president that's for pro-life. There are, nearly 60 million Black babies that have been aborted since Roe v. Wade passed. And if we talk about Black Lives Matter, did we know that Black Lives Matter even in the womb? He also signed the most historic criminal justice reform that I had a part of. And we freed over 7,000 people from prison. 91% of them were Black. He's also permanently funded HBCUs. He also lifted the federal ban that was against faith-based HBCUs. Before COVID hit, we had the lowest Black unemployment. The fact that the man was willing to listen to someone like me and allow me to influence him to not only pass the First Step Act, but make it illegal for women to give birth in chains, I realized that this man is not the man that they're proclaiming him to be.
All right, guys, I have to give the audio credit to the Breakfast Club. Ms. Stanton was recently on the Breakfast Club, and she is here with us today. Please make sure you go to her website, Stanton-King for Congress.com, Stanton King for Congress.com. So at this time, what I'd like to do is welcome Ms. Stanton to the Judge Joe Brown Show, 404-202-404-202. Welcome. How are you?
Thank you so much for bringing me on the show. I'm here.
Yeah, hey, I want to ask you just real quick before I toss it over, because it is such a pleasure. You make me proud to be melanated and full of estrogen. You really, really do. I listened to a lot of your interviews today, and I like how hard you go. And I just have a two-part question, and the question is, do you really think that someone is you're really aggressive, very, very honest, brutally honest. Do you think this country is ready for that? And also, because I do think that with this Biden female vice president thing, I think they're setting us up possibly for a female president, because I'm not sure where he is health-wise. Do you think that this country is ready for a female president? So one, are they ready for you? And two, are we ready for a female president?
I don't think we're ready for either, to be honest, but I don't think it's about what we're ready for. It's more about what we need, and what this country needs right now is truth. And what they need is a real leader, male or female. It should not matter about the sex. It should just be a person that can definitely lead us on over into the promised land. Because what we're seeing happening right now is two sides, Republican and Democrat, completely at war with each other, and it's all at the price of the people. The people are suffering while they're having a political war. So what we need is real leadership, and I don't know any other way to be.
I appreciate that. Thank you so much, and please, please, please make sure before you leave that we address your political campaign and what your plans are for Georgia. So I want to make sure, I'm not sure what Judge wants to talk to you about, but I definitely want to make sure we give you the floor to address that. All right, so at this time, welcome, Judge Joe Brown. You are live with Angela Stanton-King. If you could just come on in.
Well, I've been in. I've been listening.
Hey. All right.
Ms. King, how are you? Good luck.
I'm doing great, Joe Brown. How are you?
Do me a favor. Don't whip John Lewis's ass too badly, because with his disposition, he liked that. He likes that rough trade, So don't whip him too bad. I don't want him to enjoy it. Now.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Yes, sir.
Anybody that advocated for his children to get down on their knees so white folk could spray them with water hoses and turn dogs on them, or any black child, like some of the civil rights leaders came up with as a tactic to get all of this hell brought down on the heads of children to make an impression, I detest and despise them, and he's one of those got down on his knees and enjoyed the behind whipping. I never was into that. But would you do me a favor and explain for the people what First Steps is all about? I have a little particular rehabilitation. For a 10-year period when I was a criminal court judge in Tennessee, the statewide recidivism rate for felons was 80%, but atypically in my courtroom it was only 18%. Now, I have an interest in things. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so the First Step Act was historical in its passing, for one thing, because what it did was it gave access to so many people that were left behind from Obama's Fair Sentencing Act. So this is applied to people that had life sentences and life without parole for nonviolent charges, and the majority of these people fell up under Joe Biden's 94 crime bill and the 3 steps, 3 strikes, you're out. So how this works is if a person gets in trouble and is convicted of the same crime 3 times, then you can give them life without parole. And so this, of course, led to disparity in sentencing. Of course, we have that 1986 crack cocaine disparity that also fed into this narrative. So this is what led to the majority of Black America being mass incarcerated, and basically 75% of children growing up fatherless.
Don't let Biden off the hook. You have to deal with 1979 and 1982. Some of the things he co-sponsored that got rid of federal parole and probation, except for certain select offenses. And also, when they first started this nonsense of equating 10 rocks to 1 kilo of powder. He's one of the main pushers behind that, and that's 1979 through 1981. So don't let him off the hook for that. Don't let him off the hook for talking back in Delaware back in the 60s when he was spouting off about desegregation would let animals into schools, and he wasn't going to have his children going to a zoo with animals in it.
Yep.
Don't let him off the hook with that. Don't let him off the hook with going back in the 70s, and I heard him live on my little TV when I was the public defender for Memphis. Not an assistant, I was DPD. And I heard him lauding Faubus and Wallace and Stennis and talking about they were his heroes, his role models. And I got this one. He was dedicating the rest of his career to following in their footsteps. And I think he has. So don't let that racist SOB get himself up in office. It's not good for the country. It's good for black people. And if there is a horrible candidate for black folk to vote for, it is Joe bigoted, bribe-taking Biden. By the way, he doesn't understand black people because he came out of the smallest state in the United States, Delaware. That state's so small it doesn't even have an airport. You have to fly into Philly and take ground transport. And one time, 25 years ago, when I was much more vigorous, I ran across the whole state. It was 7 miles from one border to the other.
Wow.
John. So he really got a background for big city problems coming from Hicksville, USA. I mean, the whole damn state isn't as big as Los Angeles, basically.
And I mean, and not only that, you know, he was asked before if he apologizes for his 94 crime bill, and he said he doesn't. And if he had a chance, he would write it all over again. And I mean, we saw what he told to Charlemagne. He says, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. No plans, nothing at all for the black community. Just if you don't vote for me, you aren't black. I think that, you know, the country and everyone is just tired of these career politicians. You know, the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same thing over and over again and expect different results. If we have seen people that have been in office for 30, 40 years, and we're still fighting these same injustices, and we haven't seen any change, and we're looking at what our the state that our country is in right now, and you can see just with common sense the people that are advocating for real change. And I think that we are at a place right now where we're tired of being lied to.
Yes, we've had, courtesy of the Demogatic Party, we've had one incompetent running, one bad incompetent running, one fake Negro running who got elected. And that's that's 3 strikes, isn't it? Under Biden's own thing. 1, 2, 3 strikes. One of them got on base, but he got tagged out trying to steal another base. So, yeah, trying to steal the black thing. I don't understand why black folk just have to get on board the Democratic Party. They don't get delivered anything. If you read the last one's executive orders, it's all about gay, 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 and more gay, 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 gay. 2 gay Supreme Court, lesbian Supreme Court members, 1 conservative gay Republican, the last one he nominated, no black folk. Could have done a lot. I kind of got sick of it. I understand those folk have the right under the First Amendment to do their thing. It's their business, but when they start playing politics, just like anybody else, they can be pushed back, and when their politics aren't in our good interest, shove them, push them down and trample on them. Now, all day long when I posted, after I posted that you were going to be on here, I want you to touch on, if you choose to do so, the issue, one of them, if you choose to go there, is reparations. And the other is, well, small matters of where does it go from here. Anyway, what about the central? I have another one here. Somebody tweeted something in. You can touch this one if you want to. What about the Central Park 5? Okay. So I
don't.
If you want to address them.
Yeah, I don't want to feed my brain too much information because you gave me 3 questions, and I definitely want to touch on all 3 of them. So we'll start with the Central Park 5, and we'll go ahead and move backwards. So I hear a lot of people say, what about the Central Park 5? And so when I think about the Central Park 5, what really infuriates me is that people are more upset with the president for believing a confession, running ads, and all other stuff that they want to say, but nobody seems to be upset with Antron's father, who we all saw in the movie, made him confess to something that he knew was a lie. So for one thing, for me, that shows that we have an issue with accountability, because I'm more upset with the father than I am upset with Trump. And then another thing I can't understand is those 5 men have been released. They've been compensated. They've had a movie. They have book deals. I think that they are doing very well in life now. But Trump has freed nearly 8,000 people that were incarcerated because of Joe Biden. Why is America demanding an apology from Trump for 5 men that are free and not demanding an apology from Joe Biden for thousands that are still incarcerated? So I think we need to get focused, right, and focus on what's really important right now. And what's really important right now is the fact that the majority of Black America is still incarcerated with life sentences for nonviolent crimes. And the president that we have today, President Donald J. Trump, passed the First Step Act, which eventually over time is going to bring 100,000 of them home.
Okay, that sounds like a good answer. All right, now, reparations, if you want to deal with that one.
So, reparations, this is what I need people to understand about reparations. And, you know, welfare has been a form of reparations for a very long time. No, they have not given us a lump sum, but they have given us a certain amount of money to keep us dependent on their government system and afraid to basically step out on our own and create our own businesses, right? Completely remove the father from the home when it comes to things that relate to welfare with Section 8 and how much money you can make and who can live in the home and all of that. Now, I am not totally against reparations, but we need to have a comprehensive, effective plan when it comes to reparations, right? We need to make sure that financial literacy is in place. What form of reparations does this need to come in? Is it in the lump sum of money? Is it in the college education? How do we prove who exactly is the descendant of a slave? So I think that I'm not completely opposed to it, but that's a conversation that needs to be had.
That's a good answer. Probably one of the better ones that I've heard. I agree with you. I joke that if it looks like it's a realistic opportunity for reparations to be awarded through an Appropriations and Enablement Act by the Congress, I'm going to buy a big interest in an athletic shoe store so I can get all the money that comes in that'll be spent for Air Jordan.
Right.
That's
right.
a good response. I think that's well thought out. That's more on point than 99% of them I've heard. Frankly, it'd be good too, but I don't think it's a realistic thing, and it's kind of like everything would be all right if I won the lottery. Yeah, sure, there would be, but the likelihood of winning the lottery is so damn low that it's foolish to try and plan your life around winning it.
Very true.
All right, now, tell us what your programs are for the state of Georgia. What are the needs that you perceive you can satisfy if you're in D.C.? I'm sure from what I've read, it's got other than to do with those who like to bend over and rock their boxes in Atlanta. It seems to be something pandered to by your opponent. That doesn't help too many people out.
Well, you know, there are a bunch of issues. I think number one is making sure that we focus on disaster recovery management after COVID. And we see a lot of people having to have shut their businesses down and lose jobs. Although I did read the reports that 4 million jobs were added to our economy that came out this morning, which is a good thing. But for the state of Georgia in particular, it's very important that we focus on job growth and job creation. Not only that, I'd like to put a large focus on entrepreneurship. Because of my own personal story, I know that financial freedom and financial literacy is very important in order for the community to be able to stand on its own and not be dependent on the government or slave to the government. Another thing that's really important for me is standing for life. Bringing balance to the floor when it comes to the issue of abortion. One of the things that I hear a lot of times within the black community is a cry that they are an oppressed minority. Well, one of the ways we can come against being an oppressed minority is by not aborting our votes and not sacrificing our children at the abortion mills. Not only that, Planned Parenthood seems to be, if anyone does their research, a huge supporter of the Democrat Party. I can't understand for the life of me why we are supporting a party that supports an organization that wants to exterminate our race. And if anyone does their research, they'll know that the majority of Planned Parenthood abortion clinics are in black minority areas, and this is why they keep telling us that abortion is health care. Another thing that I'm fighting for is laws that protect the innocence of children. What I'm seeing right now is even when it comes to LGBTQ, I'm seeing children being used as walking, talking advertisements for sexual preference or sexual choice. When it comes to the definition and what LGBTQ means, when you break it down from lesbian, bi, gay, or whatever it is, children should not be associated with that. And so where sex education was removed from public schools, and now LGBTQ history is being forced into our schools and actually even being mandated to be taught before the 8th grade. Well, it's hard to teach children about lesbians and bisexuals and gays if you're not teaching them about sex. So we want to make sure that we don't tie, young children and sex together, because anytime you do that, then that's definitely the definition of pedophilia. I also want to make sure that we care for our veterans. I'm seeing the homelessness rate in Georgia rise. I've been here all my life, and now I'm beginning to see tent cities set up under our expressways, and people just sleep out in the middle of the street, downtown, right across the street from the courthouses. I've never seen it this bad. And another issue for me is protecting religious freedom. to each his own. I'm a Christian, and that's how I find my peace. And if you're a Muslim and that's how you find your peace, that's fine. We should all have the right to religious freedom, and religious freedom should definitely be protected. So those are definitely the forefront of my issues for the state of Georgia.
Well, do me a favor, if you haven't read it, please read the Black Lives Matter manifesto, quote, what we believe, unquote. They've tried to hide it after they got jumped on about it for several weeks, but it's still in there. And I want you to note that although they're flashing the late Mr. Floyd on there and exploiting Trayvon Martin and what happened in Ferguson to black men, staying out of their mouth when you get through with the introduction to their manifesto is we want to get understood that they are a, quote, queer affirming network, that they are against cisgendered influence in families, that they want to destroy the traditional family structure, that they want people to submit to the leadership of their trans brothers and sisters. They mention everything and anybody in there but straight black men and straight black women. And then pedophilia is so dangerous that this is something you can hold against your opponent if he says he supports DLM. Is the next to the last paragraph they have in their manifesto is lifted word for word from NAMBLA's mantra. And it's got to do with we must recognize the capacity for leadership and decision-making by all ages, which comes out of that thing out of NAMBLA, that there should be no age requirements to establish sexual consent. That's pedophilia. And
that is
they go
absolutely pedophilia.
In their own statement, they say they are an affiliated and associate organization with LGBTQIA+. And then you might want to point this out to somebody in the Justice Department to look at. They put down there that they want you to contribute and how to do it online, and then their contributions go straight to Act Blue, which is a Democratic Party fundraising organization. Go straight to them. And you're supposed to be contributing to righting the injustices for black people who are brutalized by police misconduct. Also, if you don't give them, your money goes directly to LGBTQIA+, as they put it, rather than to something to do with Black Lives Matter, which actually probably would be better defined by BFM, Black Folk Matter. You know, but anyway, it is what it is. Just check
I've read that, Judge Joe Brown, and I actually did a live with my audience, and I educated them on those things. And what's unfortunate right now is that, you know, there's a difference between Black Lives Matter, the organization, and Black Lives Matter, the movement, which will have hijacked what was originally started as a fight for justice and have now made it a platform for destruction of the traditional family, destruction of our communities, destruction of everything that we stand for, even our own very existence. So I think that it's important that we begin to use our platforms and educate all people on what has happened, because now if you say, hey, Black Lives Matter is a terror organization, people are thinking that you're saying you don't care about black life, and that is absolutely not true. So once again, Black Lives Matter, the organization, just like Planned Parenthood, has slid their way right up under our noses, trying to make it seem as if they're all about family, and they are the total destruction of everything that family represents.
I agree with you. Let me ask you a favor before Maurice gets on. I just want to call it to your attention. Are you familiar with Cobb County?
Yes, sir.
That's where Stone Mountain, Georgia is in, and also a pie section of it goes into metropolitan Atlanta. There is some of the most racist bigotry in the way they run their domestic courts down there. It is just absolutely horrendous how badly black women are done, and black people in general, when there's somebody white on the other side. They've got a thing set up with not good lawyers who get appointments by certain judges where, for example, one guardian ad litem appointed on a case got $25,000 in fees, and the woman's lawyer only got $1,000. You know, this kind of thing going on. So it's a thing about them trying to do what they can to wreck the future lives of mixed young blacks, girls and boys, is very bad. They are encouraging white parents and step-parents to use the N-word. They don't do anything when that's done, and when they teach them filth and everything, some of the children are alleging that they got molested, and they say that doesn't make any difference. They'll get over it. It is one of the most rank, foul cesspools I have encountered. Somebody needs to look into that in terms of violation of civil rights. Just whatever is going on in Cobb County needs to be looked at very intensely. I would appreciate
I'm familiar with Cobb County. I'm familiar with Cobb County. I grew up in Atlanta, and we would say C-O-B-B, which is how you spell Cobb. We would say that it meant come on, black boy. So everyone knew, you know, when you were younger, to stay out of Cobb County if you weren't legit. So we are well aware of, you know, the stories that have come out of there, that jailhouse, that courtroom, of the injustice, and you are absolutely right. It definitely does need to be highlighted, and the attention needs to be brought to it. And I would hope that the people of Georgia will get behind me and help me get into Congress so I can be the change that we are all desperately needing to see.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask Miss Angela, also, Judge, I already know what your take will be on this, but a couple of days ago I just seen the Essence magazine cover of Mr. Billy Porter being on the cover wearing a red, black, and green dress. And knowing throughout the history, Essence never had any type of Pan-Africanism where anybody wear red, black, and green, so they took it upon this opportunity to have Mr. Porter rock it. And in a way, I feel like that was very insulting for people who are, you know, traditional Pan-Africanism. And I just wanted to ask with Angela, also with Judge, do you really think, like, corporations have a certain LGBT agenda when it comes to, like, black folks in particular?
I'll go first and be the first one to say, yes, I do believe there is an agenda. I've been talking about this for quite some time. In fact, I'm getting ready to put a post up on my page about one of the lead actors from a main show. They had his character killed off because he refused to be in a relationship with a transgender. So, again, this is all about subliminal messaging. This is all about using platforms and influence to push this agenda and encourage youth that this is of the norm. So absolutely.
All right, guys, we are going to stop the audio right there, and you know where to go to find bonus perks, all kind of snippets, behind the scenes stuff, etc., 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 especially the rest of this episode. Where do we go? Come on, say it with me. Patreon.com/ValerieDenise Jones. Very, very, very good. All right. Anyway, as promised, here is a snippet of REXX GARVIN's interview. Remember, Rex is the guy from Comedy Hype. Please make sure you check out his videos on YouTube. Just Google REXX GARVIN Comedy Hype, and you'll find a slew of his videos. He's hella funny. But anyway, he joined Judge Brown. They had a small chat before we open up the lines for more conversation, and this is what they had to say. Here we go.
You're on an earpiece? Are you driving? That's better.
I hear
you. Do that, whatever you're doing.
I was on mute. Hold on. Okay.
Okay. All right. Can you hear him, Rex? Is he good?
Yes, I can.
All right. So, Judge, you're on the line with Rex.
I want to go back to 1981-82. You were meeting Sam Jackson outside of the club after you had run into Brew Paul. Now, tell me about Sam Jackson. You were doing that See, these are foundational matters on some of the people you still see. Tell the folk what they're about. Tell me about Sam Jackson.
Well, Sam wouldn't like this, but when I knew Sam was a crackhead. He was Sam Jackson. No, Sam was Sam was a working crackhead back then. He's married to LaTanya Richardson, and I met Bill in 1981 when I first hit the punchline, and this is the time when RuPaul was doing this thing and all that kind of stuff. Atlanta was thriving back in the early '80s. Richard Pryor's lawyer, Peabo Bryson, that was Bill Campbell, that was the clique. So back at that time, I was trying to find myself. I'm young, good looking, had it going on, and boy, when you're young and got it going on, I mean, you don't even see tomorrow. You just live for that moment, But when we went to the punchline, and what happened, Sam, out of that crew, Bill Nunn from Radio Raheem, Do the Right Thing, he would always talk about Sam Jackson because these are Morehouse guys. So he would always talk about Sam, because at that time, Sam was a working actor. So fast forward, let's go down to 1986. I finally met Sam Jackson, and Sam Jackson was a mess, man. He was on crack, but he was a working actor. At that time, he was doing Spencer for Hire with Robert Urich. And for your information, Judge Joe Brown, my cousin-in-law is Rod Perry, who played SWAT back in the 70s. He also did the Black Godfather and Black Gestapo. Rod Perry, that's my cousin-in-law, and his wife was Lavinia Hamilton Perry. Huh?
Said gotcha.
Yep. And his wife was Lavinia Hamilton Perry, who was on Broadway. And back in the day, she was with the Catherine Dunham dancers in Eartha Kitt. See, I got that kind of history, so that's why I know all this stuff, because I was a kid coming up in that kind of business. And the fast forward, Sam, man, he was doing these movies, and the joke in the circuit at that time was, when you see Sam in the movie, he's gonna die or get shot. He's always dying in the movie. So fast forward, when Sam finally did Jungle Fever, he was still the reason why he did it so good, because he was a real crackhead. Remember, he was a crackhead in Jungle Fever with Halle Berry. The reason why he was so good because he was.
I saw the movie. Yeah.
Yep. The reason why he was so good because he was that was him. So then, as things get better, then when he did Pulp Fiction,
he did play the part realistically. He did play the part.
Yes.
And I guess he had another Morehouse, somebody down there doing the thing. Spike Lee.
Yes. And so when you fast forward, that's how. And then when he did Pulp Fiction, that's when things blew up for him in the right way. But the point I'm making, that's the kind of the groundation that I came up with. Now check this out, so Brother Judge Joe Brown. This is the classic. Now you're gonna love this because you was there, Judge, when this happened. When the Comedy Act Theater came in L.A., when Robin Harris was living, this is when black comedy was on its. This is when it was brand new. It was like rock and roll at that time. Because Robert Townsend's Partners in Crime at that time was showcasing black comics on HBO in the 80s. And something about that doggone Robin Harris, I mean, keep in mind, we had Richard Pryor, we had Bill Cosby and Red Fox. Now, even though we had Dick Gregory, something about, it was just only Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, and Red Fox. Something about that damn Robin Harris did something to people. Something about that Robin Harris. When Robin Harris came on the scene, it was like the uncle at the barbecue. It was like the brother at the body shop. It was like the Rudy Ray Moore Wild Man Steve Party album come to life. Something happened when Robin came. Robin did something to people, and Chris Tucker is an imitation of Robin Harris. Give you an example. When Robin goes, "Oh, baby kid, don't they? Then Chris goes, don't they? So Chris was imitating Robin Harris. In 1990, Michael Williams brought the Comedy Act to Atlanta. And that's when I was the house MC. So that's how I got to be popular. So I was like a local celebrity in Atlanta. I didn't hit television. I was a local celebrity at the Comedy Act Theater. And then in Chicago, Raymond Lambert came with All Jokes Aside. I'm the one that helped Raymond get that club together, and it's in his book. If you get Raymond's book, all jokes aside, he mentions me in his book. He doesn't really go into specifics, but I'm the one that helped him get that club going because there was no one like me at that time. There was a couple of us. There was J. Anthony Brown, who was another story by itself. I can do some stuff about Jay because me and Jay was real close. Matter of fact, me, Bill Nunn, and J. Anthony Brown, that was us three in Atlanta. We were like, when it comes to black, because don't forget, black comedy wasn't really happening yet. It was still like a white comedy world. So to be black at that time and do comedy, you were different because a lot of people wasn't doing it. What brought black comedians out was Def Jam. Next thing you know, blacks started coming out everywhere. Everybody was a comedian when Def Jam came out. Everybody was a damn comedian. But at that time in the 80s, you had very few. So when that happened, man, everything blew up. But then when Def Jam came and New Jack Swing, hip-hop became a culture, that's when all hell broke loose. The elements of where we at now that's really kind of jacked up is NWA, Snoop Dogg, Tupac, and Luke Skywalker, Luther Campbell, the Two Live Crew. Those are the elements to where we at now. And Ice-T when he said fuck the police. No, NWA fuck the police, and Ice-T were cop killers. And then he's playing the cop on Law and Order. I love that shit. So Ice-T, NWA, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac are the elements of where we at now when it comes to the hood shit with the police. And we're paying the price for that.
Did you enjoy this audio? We sure hope you did. Today's show is sponsored by My Olive Leaf. Please visit myoliveleaf.biz to shop for olive leaf extracts which will assist your efforts to transform your life, detox your body, increase your energy, get restful sleep, and rid your body of antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal properties. Do not delay. Contact the MOL reps today. Please visit myoliveleaf.biz for their full line of olive leaf extracts and moringa products. Oh yeah, for those of you who would like a personal consultation, please call the MOL reps at 612-567-3263. Also visit their website and social media pages for the latest on sales, new releases, and more.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt your program, but I really have to let you guys know something. One of the problems that we have in the holistic community is that there are too many people uncertified that don't really know exactly what it is that they're doing. In fact, we can take that to the fitness community as well. I am a certified personal trainer. I'm a certified sports nutritionist. I'm a certified master herbalist. I am a certified elite calisthenics specialist, and I am also a naturopathic doctor. My name, for those of you that don't know, is Dr. Inky. And when you come to our website, UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org, yes, UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org, like the plates you eat on, or the plates you put on your bench press bar, or the plates that the soil where the herbs and the food grow from, the tectonic plates, those kind of plates. UnitedPlatesOfAmerica.org. When you come to the website, not only do we have certification for you in calisthenics, we offer that through the calisthenic king of all calisthenic kings, none other than HIT. We got HIT, okay? So we're offering that to you guys. We have books for education. We have everything that you guys really need to not only transform your life in terms of your health, but to transform your life in terms of your karma, in terms of your creativity, and in terms of your entrepreneurship, your business, and your fiscal well-being.